My name is Golden Sibling Number One, aka for short, Scarecrow on YouTube. If you guys haven't seen the name, hey guys, just wanted to before I start talking about. Well, this time I'm not going to be talking about a video game. I'm going to be talking about a movie that's actually caught my eye for some time. I can remember as a kid I watched this a lot, but for now I'm going to explain something. So I haven't been doing a lot of videos, guys. Well, as you probably know, right? I mean, don't know, but a lot of people are probably I would get a lot of comments asking me about like if I could do a better job at explaining stuff, and I didn't really care about that. I really did not. But I will say this though, guys, it is getting harder for me during the day to like you guys know do videos to get you guys some help, and that's not what I meant. I meant like it's hard for me to keep putting on a certain schedule because then all of a sudden my schedule changes and it's hard enough for me as it is. So I thought I'd talk about one thing. This movie has been a favorite of mine for a very long time. Like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but more than Alien versus Predator. And if you guys don't know what the movie is, I understand. I'm going to explain it a little bit and why I liked it. I am going to be talking about Jurassic Park, but not just Jurassic Park 1, 2, or 3, or Jurassic World. I'm going to be talking about all of them. So basically, I'm going to put them in an order to where I watch them and what I remember from them. If I forget a detail, just please tell me so I can try to remember exactly what happened for whoever wants to tell me. Like I said to you guys, I don't care about your hurtful comments. I mean, if they do hurt, but remember, I'm only human. And I know I probably have many YouTubers say that, but I like your guys' feedback because it helps me get back up and it helps me get back into the mood. Like I gotta do better for these guys. So anyway, let's get started. So the first ever Jurassic Park I watched was Jurassic Park 3, but because I remember that movie so vividly, I'd rather jump to Jurassic Park 1. So Jurassic Park 1 started off with just two archaeologists, aka meaning the two archaeologists, a guy and a female one. I forgot their names, guys, so you go ahead, you guys can be mad or something, but I'd rather explain it now. So anyway, during the movie, these two get invited to a park, an amusement park that says, "Hey, there is a special kind of event going on with dinosaurs." This actually catches their eye because, well, they dig up dinosaur bones for a living. I mean, what do you think they were gonna do? Anyway, so during the movie, they go through this little process and they find out there's actual real dinosaurs, real ones. Now, during the movie, they start explaining how they get the process. It turns out the little cane that the person who made this park and helped out, it turns out the person who made this, guess what, has an ancient mosquito in his cane that is mobilized in sap to when they drew the blood, it had dino DNA in it, so they can modify it to be any kind of dinosaur they wanted. Now, according to the Jurassic Park theme, basically what I mean is that the Jurassic Park movie's development during the movie, as they probably tell you, and if they didn't tell you, I'll explain in a second. They denied the dinosaurs the right to lay eggs, aka meaning that means everything that the raptors or anybody that tells them that, guess what? They can't lay eggs, they can't raise kids to be part of what they are. Because it turns out they denied a lot of the females who could have been males the right to be the right gender. So basically what they did is, basically, if you were in science class or health class, or biology class, I forgot which one it falls under. Don't judge me. Anyway, so during this time, the dinosaurs get DNA replicated to a female. They say it's like what you would do to a frog if you genetically made a new one. The genetic frog would be able to do something else, aka meaning you could change their gender. Like they said too about cloning. I think they said they got this idea about doing that with the dinosaurs from like a movie where an old 1970s movie, the person who created Jurassic Park said he got this from an old movie to where they were able to change the gender of their own clones to be females because they said that said that the females had better working environment or something like that. Anyway, so in Jurassic Park, these guys are going through rides trying to see the dinosaurs like Triceratopses, Tyrannosaurus, and so on. Now, as many of you know, Tyrannosaurus Rex is a guy you don't want to mess with. So in the movie, it's storming where they're at, and it's very, very dangerous. AK meaning, guess what? The electric goes off. When the electric went off, the power cables and everything else is destroyed. Well, not destroyed, but it's off. But here's the sucky part, and I would like to point this out. That means the barbed electrical wires are gone. The dinosaurs can basically get out of their cages, go on a rampage, and start eating whatever they find. And no, I didn't mean like the herbivores, the dinosaurs that only eat grass or anything. I'm talking about the meat eaters. Tyrannosaurus Rex, Velociraptor. Unfortunately, guys, in Jurassic Park 1, there was this one dinosaur I saw that spit stuff in the eyes of its prey. I forgot what that one is. If you guys know, leave a comment. Anyway, guys, so let me explain this. So the dinosaurs basically go on a rampage because, hey, they're hungry. But here's the weird thing. It's what I found very, very disturbing. It turns out that there's an alpha female in the raptors. They're basically like wolves. But instead of having an alpha male and an alpha female, there's usually a lot of times an alpha female. And the female, let me just say, she's dangerous. The alpha female is usually the biggest out of the raptors, but she needs the alpha male to help keep dominance in place, basically with the troopers. So, as you all know, and I'm going to be going to some of the movies also to explain something. In Jurassic Park 3, the Velociraptors have this kind of sensor in their nose that when they make a certain sound, it could be a call out for help, or it could be a call out to attack, or it could be a call out for letting them know they search this area. You know, they communicate. The raptors are the smartest dinosaurs back then. Because they had those claws, they had tactics, they made sure they hid in very tall grass so their prey couldn't see them. You know, it was basically like a big time deal. That's what I'll say. But Tyrannosaurus Rex was different. Sure, he had strength and he was big, and it was hard to take him down, but that didn't make him invulnerable, you know? Like, if you took a raptor pack, like a pack of 4, with a Tyrannosaurus Rex, sure, Jurassic Park 1's ending, the T-Rex pulled it off, but that was only because the Velociraptors were distracted with the humans. Think about if it was on a head-to-head fight. The raptors, what they would do is jump on their prey, this in case what I'm saying is the Tyrannosaurus, and they're trying to eat him. Basically, they're clawing at him in his legs and his stomach, biting him, trying to take off some skin. You know, they're trying to weaken him, so that way they could go and kill. Basically, Velociraptors work like the Five Nights at Freddy's people. They each have a different set of skills they do. Foxy, he runs, but by the time you see him gone, guess what? It's already too late. Freddy, he hides a lot, so that way you can't find him. Chica and Bonnie, just trying to make you waste a lot of power. The Velociraptors don't have that kind of technique, but they still work together. It's like a team effort, but if one of them goes down, they still keep going. Like, these guys don't give up the hunt. Anyway, guys, in Jurassic Park 1, they're trying to get off the island, and at the end of the movie on that time period, they go and they get off the island by helicopter. Now, here's the sad part. At the end of the movie, the dinologists, I forgot their names, guys. Like I said, you can be mad at me. I know I should know this. But anyway, they say that he says not to endorse the park. He doesn't want the park to be open. But the saddest part I thought about that is that old man, that man who wanted to make this park the best thing ever, guess what? He agrees. He says, so do I. They drive the cart to the helicopter, and boom. They get off the island. And I know know I skipped a lot of parts, guys, but like I said, during those parts, just a lot of people on the island who were good or was bad. Guess what? They got eaten. The lawyer who just wanted to sell tickets like $10,000 or $1,000 each. Guess what? He hid on the toilet, and guess what happened? He got eaten. The next three victims, the guy who was trying to buy stuff and then sell them to the government to get a lot of money so he didn't have to work again. He tried to get the dinosaur genes so he can like sell them to another park. By selling them to another park, he knows they'll pay a lot of money because he knows they'll get a lot of money for this. And like I said, he gets into like the car and he gets attacked by that one dinosaur I said, guys. And let me tell you all something. Getting attacked or eaten, let me just say this. Think about it. You got dinosaurs ripping, biting, crunching, probably breaking off any parts of your body, and you're still alive through a lot of that. You're gonna feel that. That's gonna hurt. Not even hurt. You're gonna scream in pain like they do in the movies. The next one on our list is the guy you see at the very beginning of the intro of Jurassic Park. It's the hunter who helped bring in the dinosaurs, who was trying to tell them to shoot the dinosaur, but they weren't allowed to. He went to go and take down these velociraptors, like he wanted to make sure they were safe. So he spots one, and you won't believe this. The velociraptors had a very good plan, let me just say. And what do I mean by that? One of the velociraptors, ignoring all kinds of physical danger, meaning that the hunter had a gun, pointed at that velociraptor. You want to know what that happened to him? He got eaten. A velociraptor showed up at the side of him and attacked him. And I think that was the alpha female. I can't really be sure, guys, because really they didn't show you the raptors right before that happened. But I'm pretty sure they were the females. I'm not sure. Anyway. So he gets attacked, and before this scene ends, you see the velociraptor just looking at the snake. And let me tell you, they were so patient with that. It was like they knew exactly how he was going to do it and what he was going to do. And you know what his end statement was? Clever girl. Let me tell you, he knew he was going to die, guys. Let me just tell you, he knew he was going to die. He thought he was the best hunter, but let me tell you, when I heard him say clever girl, let me just tell you, that actually made me feel good, because you know why? He gave the dinosaurs credit, because even though they were so far ahead in time and had no idea where they were, they still got the best of them, because they're in a jungle environment. Anyway, so the final death scene, well, is the technician, the final technician in the park. It's, whatever his name is, but let me just say this. He gets all cocky and has a gun. He has a gun and he goes out and tries to restart the power. But unfortunately, they lose connection to him. So what do the others decide to do? The girl decides to go and restart the power. She does, and she finds out a velociraptor is in there. When she got hit against a pole or something, a hand drops onto her side. Guess whose hand it was? Yes, it was the other technician. I forgot his name, like I said, but guess what happened? She started flipping out, started saying, "Oh, thank God you're alive." Guess what happens? His body's gone. All that's there is his arm. So you know what that means? The velociraptors got him. Somehow. And he was in a car, too. So if anything, guys, I think he heard something. The car might have stopped, and he was taken. And let me tell you all something about dinosaurs. And I did a lot of dumb little studying as a kid, let me tell you. It turns out that if the dinosaurs did lay eggs, that would have sucked even more in Jurassic Park, the first one. In the second one, still sucked. In the second one, you're the guy who got injured with his legs, like in the first one. And him and his girlfriend and you and his group of people, they go to the island of Jurassic Park before it got all destroyed, like a different section. And guess what? They're on an island where dinosaurs can lay eggs, have kids, make sure that they're fed and everything. Let me tell you, they took a whole army squad, it looked like. And those dinosaurs took them all out. the flashlight, the guys with shotguns, machine guns. One guy even had a double barrel shotgun. Guess what? He didn't die, but he felt ashamed because guess what? He was up against a Tyrannosaurus Rex and couldn't take him down because he had to use a trank. Now let me just say one thing. All those men they used to try to get the dinosaurs, dead. Even the guy who set this up, dead. And I'll tell you that in a second. So anyway, when the guy is facing up against the Tyrannosaurus Rex, let me just tell you, he gets scared. I saw scared in his eyes. Now, when I say scared, I'm not saying like, oh my god, somebody's opening the bathroom on me, scared. I'm saying scared like he thinks a psycho killer is going to come through his door with a chainsaw. Yeah, I went there. Anyway, so during this time, he trains the Tyrannosaurus Rex. During the Tyrannosaurus Rex being unconscious, they take him and the baby to the city. Stupid, right? The ship crashes into the dock, and guess what happens? It turns out the crew found out that the T-Rex adult was not breathing. Like the T-Rex was losing breathing. So they gave the T-Rex some kind of morphine. They said it was a morphine that negates the sleeping effect of the dart. Because it turns out that in order for them to take out the Tyrannosaurus Rex with the tranq dart, they had to shoot that thing 6 times. That is a lot of bullets. And I'm pretty sure you had to reload that thing every goddamn time. So, anyway, guys, let me continue. Anyway, so during that time, the Tyrannosaurus Rex bursts out of the cage and starts going crazy. What do I mean by crazy? I mean, he gets out of his cage, runs into the city, and starts eating people. A.k.a. meaning, there's a guy who gets out of his car, books it, guess what happens? He tries to get into a store. A store! He stops, gets out of his car, tries to get into a store to be safe. He couldn't get in, so guess what he did? He ran towards the T-Rex and got chomped. Now, the two dinosaurologists are trying to go and find a baby dinosaur to get the adult dinosaur to follow them. Because that's what the big dinosaur is looking for. He's trying to eat, keep his strength up, so he can go and find the kid. Now, here's the problem with that. If no one was doing this, guys, like in Jurassic Park, there were no heroes. You know what that meant? Everyone could have died. So, during this whole time, they asked this guy on the phone is trying to tell him to shoot it. He wants him to shoot the dad. The dad. Or it was the mom. I couldn't tell, guys. It looked like it was the dad. I'm not sure, because I heard the dad Tyrannosauruses are more vicious. But he tells the government to shoot the big dinosaur, but leave the little one alive, so they can attach him to this time. Guess what happens? The two doctors jump off the boat into the water, while one of them goes for the control panel when nobody's looking, and the other one tranks the big dinosaur. Guess what happens? The baby starts hiding, and guess what else? The big daddy dinosaur comes in and scares him. Like completely. I'm pretty sure he crapped his pants. Now during this time, the dad dinosaur bit the engine ambassador's leg, dragging him back to its place. He starts begging it, saying, "No, please don't hurt me." Like a dinosaur's gonna really care what you think. They're probably gonna eat you before anything. But here's the thing, the big dinosaur doesn't eat him, the baby does. And I actually thought that was pretty cool, because that means they're serving a little bit of justice in there. Saying, hey, you hurt the kid, you tortured the kid, you tricked the kid, now you're gonna die. And let me tell you, that screaming at the end of that movie, of that guy, I actually felt relieved. Because I know that was an evil man going to die. Now, Jurassic Park 3. Let me tell you, that one actually legit scared me. For reasons beyond my comprehension. Allow me to explain. Jurassic Park 3, like I said, is a movie I first watched about Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park 2 and Jurassic Park 1, I had to get copies of those ones. A.k.a. meaning, I had to go search through the half-price store clerk movie theaters to be able to find it. And it took me goddamn forever. So, let me get to the point. So, Jurassic Park 3, the female dinosaur person, and then the guy, the two friends who were in on the island together. Turns out in the third movie they actually had a relationship, but here was the sucky part, and this is what I found really stupid, but yet I see fair. It turns out they both were together, but here was the thing: she wanted to have kids, aka meaning she wanted to have a family. Unfortunately, the guy one did not want that. No idea why. I think he said he didn't want to have to be held back from what he loved to do. Don't know why, don't know how, but he didn't. And to be honest, I think she was a lot younger than he was. I think he was like at a decent age. I think he was like 2, maybe 3 years older. I don't know. But anyway, guys, allow me to continue. So they get hired by some guy from a big company. So the guy at the big company offers them a big check to come with them on the island, aka meaning giving them a tour. But unfortunately, when they get on the plane, here's what happens. Turns out they want to land on the island. They want to land on that crazy goddamn island and possibly die. They hire 3 government shooters with them, aka they had they had the squad leader, they had the big weapon specialist, and then they had a pilot. That is a good squad, but did they survive? I'll tell you in a second. Anyway, so when they get to the island, the professor starts saying you can't land on this island. They want to explain to him why. Guess what happens? He tries to tell them to turn around and take them back to the mainland. Guess what happens? They knock him out. Not with a fist, and not with like a train dart. No, that guy as I remember seeing, they took him a different way down. You want to know what he used? He used that big Barrett gun he had and whacked him over the head. And you had to know that hurt. Yet, it was amusing if you saw it in real life. But if you saw it in the movie, and they didn't actually show it, it's a letdown. I was mad about that. But what happened afterwards was very funny. You all know how dinosaurs are like zombies. They get attracted to sound and anything that leads them to food. Guess what? This crazy woman on this island is calling out to her son. I'll explain why in a second. So it turns out when they were trying to talk, she's using the speaker to talk for far away. Guess what happens? She causes a dinosaur to start approaching. Now, the 3 guys who are there, guess what? They get scared. But turns out 2 of them come from the forest without setting up a perimeter. Because guess what? They're scared. They hear a big dinosaur. They don't know little tiny dart BB of bullets are going to do anything. So they all get on the plane. Guess what happens? They start worrying about where the other guy is. And then turns out that Barrett gun that he had couldn't even stop that dinosaur. He even said that they were going to show him like shooting them in the head. But still, dinosaur skulls are very thick, as one would say. Anyway, so let me explain. So they get into the plane, and turns out Cooper, that was his name. I can't believe I remembered his name out of everybody else. I asked him one question. I asked myself one question. Why didn't they stop the plane? Yeah, you heard me. They didn't stop the plane. They were gonna leave, and I understood that. I understand that now as an adult, as a mature person now. Let me just say, a mature person. Like, I see the movie view now. That's what I'm trying to say. But when I was younger, I didn't understand why. But let me tell you, when they saw this, a dinosaur came out of nowhere, chomped him. They pulled up too soon to where they couldn't get any distance. Guess what? They got hit, crashed into a tree. And the funniest thing about that scene for me was not because the dinosaur was right there at the window, ready to attack at any moment. It's when the doctor opens the door, or tries to, looks down, comes back in, he says, "We haven't landed yet." because you're up in the tree, and I was cracking up after that. So, unfortunately, during that time, that's when I said the dinosaur in front of the window. He ducks down, hides his identity. He's more smarter than a Tyrannosaurus Rex in height and strength. So the dinosaur I'm talking about is the Spinosaurus. The Spinosaurus has that hunch in its back like the Stegosaurus, except it's part of his skin. It allows him to breathe underwater and cool himself quicker. So say if he's chasing a prey in like really extraordinary heat, he's like a camel. He can cool himself off very quickly with that. He was able to hunt and not run out of steam so fast. But still, he can. Now, here's what the sucky part was. Not only did this dinosaur take out one person, this is when he takes the second one. He takes the pirate one. And the commander is the only one left after that. He grabs him by the legs, and here's the sucky part, people. That dinosaur stomps on him enough to where he can't run, and he chomps his head. It's gone. Now, here's the sucky part. That dinosaur starts toying with them, as I saw. He starts moving the plane so he could dig in there. I think he thought it was a dinosaur. I don't know. It looked like he may have thought it was food, but it's not. He was eating metal. As they all run and escape, they run into a T-Rex, Tyrannosaurus Rex. And let me tell you, that fight scene between a Tyrannosaurus and a Spinosaurus, let me tell you, you want to know who won? Spinosaurus. You want to know how? He jumped on the Tyrannosaurus' neck and snapped it. You heard a big and he collapsed. That Tyrannosaurus collapsed. Now, he doesn't even bother with the humans right now because guess what? He's got a big buffet right there. He can eat the T-Rex instead of the small humans. But he chomped like a bunch of people. You would have thought he would have been full or he would have stopped for right now. But no. He's like, I'm going for another course. I'm going for just desserts. aka meaning more meat. Now, I know a lot of you are saying because dinosaurs cared a lot about food and stuff like that. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just saying, eventually there has to be a point to where they have to stop, though. Like at night, I would understand it, and sometimes during the day, I would understand it because they might try to sleep or something. But there has to be some points where it's like, oh god, I should probably stop before I get myself sick. Anyway, during the movie, Jurassic Park 3, they start finding out that the person who wrote them that check, the check was fake, people. I'd be mad. I'd be like, I'm on a dangerous goddamn island I could possibly die at. Guess what? Not even getting paid. And then it turned out that... So it turns out that they're on a different island. An island that had the same problem, but had later effects. Because they were starting to talk to Dr. Grant. That's what he was. That's his name. God damn. How did I not remember that? Anyway, Dr. Grant is the dinoologist. He starts to tell them that he's never been on this island. And then they start talking about he's wrote a book. But his buddy, Billy, starts saying he's talking about that was Dinosaur Sora, aka meaning the first island. He said, this is Site B. And then the guy just makes a joke saying there are 2 islands full of dinosaurs, then everyone gets really mad. I don't know why. It's just the 2 parents, really. It turns out they were... Let me just say this. The 2 parents found out that their son... those 2 parents were divorced. For some reason, I guess they said they lost that kind of spark, but they still tried to have fun with the kid. Basically, letting the dad see him, when the mom see him. Now, let me just say this, too. It turns out she was dating somebody at that time. They went, what's that called? Sky surfing or something? It's when you're on a boat, you go super high in the air, and you stay like parachuting. During that time, at the beginning of the movie, the Spinosaurus gets them. Because the whole the boat is told. They unbuckle the fasten to the boat, and they hand glide. Guess what happens? Turns out later they find the parachute. Guess what happens? He's dead. The guy she liked is gone. He got eaten. And I don't think that wasn't on his purpose, because guess what? It turns out in the movie, he couldn't get himself down, but he died. But he was able to get the kid down and save the kid. So I say he died a hero, to be honest with you. And at the end of the movie, I was kind of disappointed because I was like, man, that guy deserves some credit. He saved that kid. I mean, he couldn't get out himself, but still, he saved the kid. Anyway, let me explain this too. During the movie, they go through, they find the kid, they get back together, Spinosaurus shows up again, but this time, Mr. Wazowski, yes, that was his name, the final guy's name was Mr. Wazowski, don't know why, but guess what? He got killed by the Velociraptors, and it turns out Billy stole their eggs so he could sell them and get the money they needed. Now, as you all know, the Velociraptors have that claw toe, the one they can stab into their prey and do a lot of damage. They did that to him, but it turns out it just paralyzed him, aka meaning he was in so much pain he couldn't even run. You know what they did? They taunted. They waited till the mom or somebody came down to try to save him. Guess what happened? They tried chopping her, but they saved her. They set a trap to try to get back what was stolen. Now let me just say, before they left, you wanna know what that guy Velociraptor did? He snapped his neck. And I was very shocked. It was like snapping necks was part of that movie thing. Anyway, so during this time, they find a boat and they try to get out of here. Here's the sucky part, too. They were in a nest, a bird cage for pterodactyls. The flying dinosaurs with big beaks. And they get Billy. But Billy doesn't actually die. At the end of the movie, they find him. Turns out he was floating in the river, but he was badly damaged. But not so badly damaged, just died. Badly damaged, but probably stay alive, but still needed help. So during that time, they find a satellite radio and they call for somebody. He asks for Beth. Beth is the woman he liked. Guess what happens? She calls the Navy and the military, and they get them all out of there. But the 3 pterodactyls you see at the end of the movie, they go to a different island. They go to a different place, lay eggs, and be able to, live. Because I think what the doctor was trying to say, Dr. Grant, he was trying to say that this is a whole new world for them, meaning this isn't back in 2000-something BC where they were Roman. This is a time period to where they can actually try to live how they wanted to back then. Alright guys, that's all I got for you in this video. I promise next time I'll have like a better video game or movie to talk about. Anyway, this is Golden Sibling number 1, Scarecrow, and I'll talk to you all later. See ya!